he was stuck. Look. I'm gonna coin this phrase forever in Packer fandom for as long as I can remember it. It will now be known as the Ha Ha Glitton Dix effect, right? And that's what Geronimo Allison. That's what Fackrell. That's what Lancaster. That's what freaking Redmond. People got the Ha Ha Clinton Dix effect on them, where they make a player here or there and they get enamored, and that seems to be okay with all the fuck-ups they make that actually could come back and bite them in the ass. And actually, our only loss this season is because of those type of players fucking up enough where it bit us in the ass where we couldn't dig ourselves out of the hole. Otherwise, guess what? We'd be one of two teams undefeated right now. It'd be us and the 49ers right now. Period. Point blank. So that's what it is, man. It's the ha-ha Clint Dix effect, dude. And that's what Geronimo Allison had. He'd make a big play, he'd make a big touchdown catch in the first week of the season for a 20-point comeback against the Bears in week 1. And then when you need him, he fumbles the ball. When you need him, he drops it 3 times in a row on third down. When you need him, he gets the ball punched out on frickin' first down and fumbles into the end zone for a touchback. I mean, it's just – and now he's not even doing his job enough where he's getting beat out by an Allen Lazard. And Allen Lazard might end up being the same thing, but for right now, he deserves the snaps he's been getting.
Allen Lazard right now in this offense deserves more play time. He's actually brought it. You're right. He has been performing in his opportunities
and
better.
Kumaro.
Yeah. Him and Kumaro, they've been performing better than the other guys that were supposedly the second and third string wide receivers on this team. So it is what it is.
I'll eat my crow on that one.
Yeah, no, I give Lazard credit. Like he's been doing well.
No, he's eating his crow because if you haven't noticed, Ryan, his team name in our fantasy league is Geronimo's Tribe to Spite Me.
Yep.
You
It'll
did
stay
know
that way
that,
till the
didn't
end of
you?
the season.
I probably missed that.
Yeah, you totally missed that. And he did it specifically to spite me at the beginning of the season because of my take on Allison. That's exactly why he named his team that. And that's why this guy will always stick with what they named him in the cage. I'm just vicious, baby.
You're a cute little thing.
Love it. All right. So, obviously, big win. I knew it was going to be as close as it was. I just knew that it doesn't take a whole lot to do the things that Matt Moore had to do in replace of Pat Mahomes. People were trying to say, hey, no Pat Mahomes, we're going to just run over this team. No. The things that Pat Mahomes does, like, yes, granted, he does make some plays here and there the similar way that Aaron Rodgers makes some amazing plays off script. I'll give him that, right? Pat Mahomes does the same thing. But at the end of the day, the way that Andy Reid calls these plays and the way that Pat Mahomes plays, like, you don't have to be anything special. You can be backup quarterback Matt Moore and still make these kind of plays because you got so many weapons. You just got to give them the ball in space, and it doesn't take a lot to do that. Like, we're talking about guys that you can just give the ball to them in a couple yard radio window, and they're going to do what they're going to do, regardless of who's throwing it to them, right? So anyway, we won the game. Ultimately, we're 7-1. I want to know, all right, guys, who to you MVP? Offense, defense, one guy only. I want to start with you, Dave. Who is your MVP on the offense and who's your MVP on the defense with this game?
For this game, okay. Defense, MVP, Za'Darius Smith, keeping the pressure up all night. 2 sacks, added on, 8 sacks for the season. Offense, I'm going to go to Aaron Jones. 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. Guy was amazing. 11 total touchdowns on the season. Aaron Jones, Za'Darius Smith.
Yep, I agree. Jay, you?
I got to go Aaron Jones, man. He's filled wide receiver 2. He's still running back 1. They're splitting him out. They're double motioning him, for God's sake. he has filled so many different roles on this team this year. Okay, there's two things that what we've seen that jump out to me, excuse me, about Aaron Jones. One, he's clearly, this is 1A and 1B, and they both wear 33 of best running back in the NFC North at this point. It's take your pick, him and Cook. Two, Mike McCarthy's a fucking moron, man.
Underutilized, misused Aaron Jones, 110%. Yeah. I don't get it.
That's just and I was a Mike McCarthy backer, but when you see him do shit like that tonight, and then last week, like that catch where he's looking over the opposite shoulder and then looks and it drops. That's a difficult catch for a wide receiver to make. He's running back. That tells you, of all of us out there that were backing Mike McCarthy and said all this, he's a fucking idiot. Plain and simple. The fact that Jimmy Graham, Jimmy Graham, is when he was having his prolific seasons, didn't block in New Orleans. You've got Jimmy Graham blocking for 5 straight weeks, like we said he couldn't, and he's doing it.
Pancaking blocks, not just blocks, pancakes.
And it doesn't make us wrong. It just makes it that he's changed his game because apparently he's
mentally bought in.
Right. And again, I hate to say it, it goes back to, yes, there's a lot of praise on this staff because obviously it's a big change, but it also then it goes back to shame on fucking Mike McCarthy. Shame the fuck on you. And things like this and the things like what happened at the end of the season where Bakhtiari and a bunch of players came out and said he was complacent and they were letting players that were like nobodies keep the plane up. It's why I don't believe Mike McCarthy will ever be a head coach without having to go back through the ladder again in this league. You had Aaron Jones for 2 years on your roster. I don't think in one offseason he just all of a sudden became the ability to do this. Because if you don't remember, his rookie season and last year, Aaron Rodgers raved about this kid, about how dynamic he could be, and yet we never saw how dynamic he could be.
I agree.
There's that.
I agree.
He always tried to prefer the power back in Jamal Williams, too. If you noticed last year when he was there. He always tried to prefer the bigger back because he was from a different era going through the coaching tree. He wanted the power back, and it's just not that way anymore. You got guys like Aaron Jones, Christian McCaffrey, who's smaller. You also got Philip Lindsay, who's smaller, and they're still producing. So it's a different NFL, and Mike McCarthy just didn't adapt. That's what's working for LaFleur. Adaptability. Mike McCarthy refused to do it. Same offense for freaking 10 years. Didn't adapt. Not once. So
yeah. I agree. So all right, so I hear both of you all, and I agree with, for the most part. I think that the MVP on defense is definitely Za'Darius Smith. I mean, sacks, pressures, being a guy who was disrupting as much as he possibly could. Za'Darius Smith is the guy. I think there's really not even a question on who else would have been the MVP on the defense. And on offense, yeah, it's Aaron Jones. I said going in at halftime, I said.
I just saw your tweet in my timeline a little bit ago.
I said, if Aaron Jones doesn't play the second half, we lose this game. Because he was questionable with the shoulder injury at that point. I said, if he does not return.
Oh, that scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, if he doesn't play in the second half, I said, we lose this game. But then he did play, and guess what happened? He made plays, we won the game. So, quite frankly, that's an obvious choice. He's MVP. Aaron Jones has done things for this offense that we've been wanting to see for a long time, but we haven't seen it because, as you guys just said, like Mike McCarthy wasn't that type of play caller. He didn't design plays specifically for a running back with the talent and skill set of Aaron Jones. Matt LaFleur does. And that's a big thing for this offense. Aaron Jones has the capability and the opportunity to do things that a lot of running backs don't have, and especially in the Packers offense. We just don't see that often, and we get to see it now. And I'm telling you, it is a game changer. When you have a running back who is able to do the things that Aaron Jones can do in this offense, specifically with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, it is a game changer. So the fact that now we have that, watch out. I said that's why I truly believed if he was not going to play in the second half because of his shoulder injury, I felt bad about it. I did not know if we win that game. But when I heard that he was back out there for the second half, I said, oh, I feel good now. Because having a game changer, a type of player like Aaron Jones out there to do the things that I know that we can exploit as an offense, that we can make these play calls that Matt LaFleur wants, that Aaron Rodgers feels comfortable doing, I knew that we would be in good hands. And sure enough, I felt real good about this win. Once I knew for sure he was going to be playing. So, Aaron Jones is definitely my MVP overall on offense. Defense doesn't matter. I feel good about Za'Darius Smith, but this was a game that I knew was going to be close. I was not wrong, and we won the game. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's all I cared about. Just
Can I
win,
point out
baby.
something?
Just win. Yeah, go ahead.
Now think of all the running back targets we've been getting on receiving, and people are still trying to crash down on those routes, and they're still working. Imagine how much easier it's going to be throwing in the flat to a running back when you got a guy like Devontae Adams clearing out two defenders because of double coverage.
Oh, the offense is only going to get better.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, they're
Absolutely.
10 of 11
Can you
on
imagine?
running back targets tonight.
Can you imagine what it would be like if this team trades for any defensive lineman and cuts Tyler Lancaster so that they could get pushed in the face at whatever place they are? It'd be amazing.
Only turnover of the game. Strip and fumble recovery.
I love you, Jay.
Jesus. Leave that walking marshmallow alone, okay?
Hello.
Literally.
I swear to God.
He's a
I
walking
swear to
marshmallow.
God. I swear to God, that son of a bitch reminds me of that scene in freaking Varsity Blues where Billy Bob has the concussion and he just falls the fuck over.
That
and
fucking pig
Lance
skin.
Harbor gets his knee
And
blown
guess
out.
what?
That fat ass, that's
Still
what that
good.
dude reminds me of every time he gets pushed over. I think, you fat ass Billy Bob, it's your fault.
He had the one turnover. How do you rag
I
on
don't
him?
even know what to say.
Come on.
I don't even know what to say. I got to maintain control. Got to maintain control. Other than
He is
hey,
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
fire that fucking pig skin. That's what they say on Varsity Blues. All right. So, anyway, this has been a great episode of the whole First and Goal 365 post-game show. I am feeling this because I love this team, and I took a lot of shots, and I had a lot of drinks tonight, and I said I was going to bring it. I've actually been pretty good tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking that I was going to drop a little bit more expletives than I did tonight.
I think Jay beat you on that.
Yeah. So I feel good about that. I've been maintaining control, but you know what? I feel good. I feel like what we just watched and what we just saw, I said that, hey, you know what? This is going to be a tight game. Just come out with a victory, and we did that. And that's all I care about. I don't give a shit about if it's close game or not, or if we expect that because, hey, Pat Mahomes is in the game that we should blow them out. I don't give a shit about that. Win the fucking game, and that's what we did. Just win the game. That's what we did. We did what we had to do. 31-24, Packers win, 7-1. That's all I care about. So, ultimately, I'm happy. I'm feeling good. Jay and Dave, I know you're feeling good. We've been talking about this all night in the last couple of hours, and I hope that everybody that's listening in, tune in next week, baby, because you know what? Oh, no, wait. Are we on a bye next? No, never mind.
Next week we got the Chargers.
Carolina. We play Carolina.
Nope, we played
Carolina,
Chargers.
Right? Chargers.
In LA.
At
And
Carson.
Yes, that's right. It's gonna be home field advantage, by the way, in LA, which is weird to say because I'm